I would say I definitely follow this advice 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, it's quite impressive how ridiculous I allow myself to look in public. It's kind of like a game. What's up, socials? Welcome back to Amy TV. I'm so excited to be back in the office filming today. I just got back from San Diego, which of course is also amazing. But while I was there, I have to say, I was a little sick. I mean, don't be worried about me, but I was like just a little sick. I went out there for a conference I go to every single year, Social Media Marketing World, and I met a ton of you socials out there who were unafraid to touch me, which was very sweet. To be fair, I warned you. I go to this event every single year, and I have to say, like, the first quarter of this year was super, super busy all the way up to this conference. So by the time I got there, my body was sort of like, are we taking a break yet or not? And I was like, nah. And my body was like, yeah. And I was like, but you don't understand. You can like shut down my nostrils, but I still have to go work. So like, do you see how we're not getting along real well right now? Anyway, it was obviously fine. We have these moments where we kind of have to power through. In addition to that, there were some people that came to my session. I got a lot of feedback about confidence and sort of like how I was presenting myself and how much, I don't know if it was just like more than people expected or it was more than the last time they saw me. Not really sure. It's always good to hear. But people were actually asking me sort of, where does that confidence come from? We've actually talked about this on the channel before. I made a video called How to Be Confident, and I talked about a lot of the things that have helped me develop my confidence over time. It is not something I was born with. I think confidence is something we're always working on. And another thing, I was sick. And so I was really trying to present my best foot forward, my best face every single day, even though I was basically leaking from my nostrils all the freaking time. So cute. It's such a cute detail for me to share with you. Well, one of the things I talked about in that video, How to Be Confident, was dressing the part. And I absolutely think that had everything to do with why I was able to continue to present the best version of me at this conference, whether I was sick or not, but certainly cover up the things that were not going right. So that led me to want to sit down with you and talk about how to always look like you are put together. I'm using the word always here a little loosely because that's what people tend to say, right? You always look put together. And I'm just like, well, I do not always look put together, but I'm happy to do this with you and try to look put together most of the time so we can keep up this reputation. So let's talk about it. How do you always look put together? Before we get started, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Are you subscribed yet to this channel? Yes, this channel. Mine. Yeah. Amy. Yeah. I'll wait. Step number 1, put pants on. This is probably not going to be an issue for those of you who leave the house on a very, very, very regular basis. We have been trained to put our pants on before we leave the house. But for those of us who tend to be home a lot, whether you work from home or you work remotely or whatever the case may be, sometimes there is an inner debate. Should I put pants on today? Not sure. I've had quite the debate myself with this sometimes because it just is so much better when you can wear your house robe the entire day. It's comfy, it's warm, it's homey, and you know what? It's magical in pretty much every way you can think of. But if you always want to look put together, the house robe is probably not the way to go. Sweatpants, certain types of like leggings and stuff. There are pants in your closet that are putting your pants on, and then there's like, these are not real pants. These are not things we wear to impress people. So I think you kind of have to just know that if you're trying to look put together, then your gym shorts are not going to pan out. I actually deal with this a lot being in an apartment building. I have sort of the inner debate of, oh, am I going to leave to go get the mail wearing my pajamas, or is that considered the public when I walk out my front door and I am in the common area? Still debating that one. Next up, face prep. I literally cannot move on with my life until I take care of washing my face. And so there's sort of a skincare regimen I think that you should always have. I think it just makes you feel so much better when you sort of move forward in your day, and it's going to make things a lot better later if you're one of the people that puts makeup on. You definitely need to have skin prep. I know that it can get so easy to like sleep in makeup or not wash your face, or if you're anyone, literally just maybe not even just realize that there's a lot of other things going on your face that might need removed, like dead skin, exfoliating, things like that. So it's good to have a regular skincare routine, no matter what that looks like for you. And I do it twice a day, but if you can stick with it once a day, I think that's gonna help a ton. I know that at least if I don't have makeup on, that my face is clean and not just like gross. Because if you don't feel good up here, you're not gonna emulate that to anybody else. Next, two of my dear, dear friends include eye drops and sunglasses. Your eyes say a lot about how you're feeling to the world. I have noticed this because of how many times people have said, "You look tired," and expecting a positive response to that. There's never a positive response to that. I wish people would learn. If I have ever said to you ever, "You look tired today," I don't know why you didn't smack me, because I feel like I would never ever say that. Like, why would I say, "You look tired"? Like, is that someone trying to create drama because they're like, "I feel better than you right now because I put eyeliner on"? I only discovered eye drops recently. I didn't realize how much I liked them until I started using them. It's really incredible what they do to just like make you look so awake. I don't know what it is about getting rid of the red lines. I try to be really careful about this because I do think there can always be too much of a thing, even if it's a good thing. And so I use different kinds of eye drops just depending on what's in them. Something more natural probably makes sense if you want it more often. I don't actually have dry eye, so it's like, don't do it that often. You cannot OD on sunglasses. This is the good news I'm here to share with you today. Sunglasses will literally make you look fabulous no matter where you are or what you're doing or how little you did to care for yourself before you left the house. Especially if they're bigger. It's great. The other thing is I like these because they cover up my eyes, like all around the eyes, and that's very good for sun protection if you're trying to keep your face with less wrinkles than God wants you to have. Next, this is probably for mostly the ladies out there. Practice your makeup profiles. So right now I'm wearing camera ready makeup. That took 6 hours. I'm just kidding. It didn't take that long. Sometimes it does though. I also have just like a daily makeup routine, and I have a no makeup routine, which absolutely includes makeup. I don't know who actually has a no makeup routine that's not wearing makeup. We're all actually wearing makeup when we say we have a no makeup routine. Can somebody start saying that in public so that people can stop thinking that they can achieve the impossible? I have makeup on when I have the no makeup routine, okay? There's caffeine in the concealer. We need it. If it's one of those things where I'm like in a hurry and I gotta look put together really quickly, I need to know what is my routine for each of these things. If it's probably not gonna be a no makeup day routine. If it's like the daily routine, I'm not getting on camera, I don't wanna have too much caked on my skin, I know exactly what I'm gonna put on for that chain of events, and that way putting on makeup doesn't take as long. Next, you need to know your uniform. This is really helpful, I think, for people who are always struggling to find something to wear in their closet every single day. If you have something that is your go-to uniform that you tend to get compliments even though it feels very effortless to you, make notes about that in your life. Like, oh, jeans, boots, sweater. People think I look fantastic. I'm gonna wear this every day. It's nice to have that uniform so that if you're like, I need to look put together, but I'm just running an errand, then perfect. Then there's sort of larger scale things, right? So when I speak, I tend to wear the same thing every time. But it looks different, obviously, because that would be weird. I like to wear a dress. I don't prefer to wear pants. I don't like the different camera angles of where people are sitting in the audience and what it looks like when they take a picture of their favorite speaker on stage and she's wearing pants and the wrong top and like things look out of proportion. Every time I wear a dress that is cinched at the waist and below my knee, I am fine with every single picture that is taken of me, every selfie that is taken of me. I don't like to show cleavage. I usually have a sleeve. Like, I literally have a uniform whenever I speak. So I know when I go shopping there's a dress I should try on because that's totally my uniform when I speak. And so you'll just notice that I tend to wear the same thing on stage all the time. It's just different colors, different brands, and it's because I know what looks good. And I'm not going to be freaking out like, what do I wear on stage when I have like 17 gigs in a period of a few months? Next, you need to check the code. Basically, this means if you are going somewhere and you are not sure what to wear, try to find some details somewhere. A lot of people I have met in my life don't check any details whatsoever, and they're like, I'm going to a birthday party, and they will throw on their work jeans. And I'm like, are you serious? Rule of thumb, do not wear a light jean if you're not sure what the dress code is. Look into it, know the code, and then dress your uniform the way you like it, the way you look stylish, the way you look put together. That aligns with that. And if you want to break the code, that's completely up to you, but you better look on point. My next tip is to have a dope coat. When in doubt, especially here in the Midwest, if you're not going to take your coat off, then it better look amazing, just like your outfit. I swear, a coat saves me every single time I'm like, I don't know, this is a variable. I'm just going to keep my double-breasted coat on with the nice buttons, and it always looks good. That way, I know that if for some reason we're in a freezing cold environment and I'm not taking my coat off, that I'm not like, oh crap, this coat is so ugly. I wish I could show whatever I'm wearing because this is more appropriate than my coat. Have a dope coat. People on the West Coast probably cannot identify with this unless it is below 65 degrees. Next is just to always have a comfy shoe on you. I love, love, love wearing heels, especially if I'm doing something that requires heels, like wearing a dress and speaking on stage or something like that. But if you are going to wear heels, ladies, anywhere, really, just have the flats with you. They have the most amazing technology of flats these days that just fit into your purse. And so you should just always have a comfy shoe with you, because you do not want to end up in a situation where you look ridiculously not put together because you don't know how to walk anymore. Nobody wants that. And my final piece of advice to always look put together is to stand up straight. I sit at the computer a lot, so this is very difficult for me. I find myself having to remind my shoulders where they're supposed to be. And if you want to smile, that's probably a good idea too. But I choose not to smile when people tell me to because it's annoying. And I feel that I can look put together without a smile on my face. Maybe they should do something to make me smile instead. But I'm going to stand up straight so I look put together and they just look like they're begging me for a smile for some reason. What is your go-to tip for looking put together? I want to know all the tricks. Put them in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's help each other look fabulous all the time. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you subscribe for good vibes and remember to continue to go after the life that you want. Cheers.